A very warm welcome, everyone. Thank you very much for joining us today. My name is Michelle de Klerk, and I'm the founder of the Women's Chapter. And today we are talking to Vanessa Conway, who is the founder of Feel Move Be. She's one of our members. We're very, very happy to have her. We've been running a series of great events with her, which provide very holistic and intuitive insights into wellness and fitness. We love your approach, Vanessa. So it's really wonderful to have you here with us today. For those that are just joining, please do keep your microphones on mute so that we can minimize background noise. But this will be recorded and we'll follow up with the recording afterwards. But please do, if you've got questions as we're going along, pop them in the chat. I'll keep an eye on that and we can integrate them into our conversation. But otherwise, there'll be some time at the end. So Vanessa, I'd like to hand over to you to talk about and possibly give us kind of an introduction to what our topic is today, which is get fit and stick to it.
Yeah, thank you for this conversation and this masterclass. I really wanted to share some secrets about it because I think I've seen in the past 17 years of being in the fitness industry, I've seen so many women especially starting and then stopping, or completely giving up on being fit for diverse reasons. But I can see why it's not getting on, and it's not a habit that stays in most women's life. So I really wanted to share some secrets about it and really take time to provide support and some insights about being fit, especially.
Thank you. I mean, I know many of us, our roads are paved with good intentions, right? Yes. So can you perhaps start with telling us a little bit more about how do we put the building blocks in place to build a fitness into our lives? How do we reach that point where we stop making excuses and it becomes one of those non-negotiable things? And I think also by fitness, I don't necessarily mean, because I know you have a very holistic approach, it doesn't necessarily mean running or doing something kind of organized. It can just mean movement, right?
Yes,
so
exactly.
Where do we start?
Well, first we make it personal. This is something I've seen so many times, that the goal we put on, we write down anyway, it's not enough personal. It's always just, I want to get fit, or it's something that I want to be in this dress, or it's the holidays are coming, so I want to get to the image of being in holidays. But it's not personal enough. It's not related to how we live right now, and it's not related to our feelings, our emotions. And that is the first thing, is when you write down your goal around fitness, is you need to connect with your body, and your body communicates with feelings, with emotions. It doesn't really mind about clothes, to be honest. It doesn't really mind about being tan or stuff like this. What he minds is providing you the right support and the right encouragement for what you want. So more you give this connection with feelings. So if, for example, recently I had a client who her biggest goal was to play with her granddaughter, to really like swing her around and just even be able to pick her up without any pain, with just feeling the joy of having her child in her arms without asking her son to do it for her. And that is the connection you need to have when you create a goal, especially on around your body. You need to see and feel, how does it feel to be able to do that? How will I feel when I will be fit, for example? That is the first thing, connecting to your feelings, to connecting to your emotions. And even your body will react already on that. If I just feel the goal of this client, I can feel just goosebumps. I can feel my body go straightening up and feeling stronger, because this is a positive feeling. If you feel if you're just creating a goal or decided on a goal, saying that because I don't want that anymore, I don't want to feel like this anymore, you kind of have this baggage of, I don't want to feel that. And it might help you to start with and to boost you to get rid of that, but it won't last because it's a baggage. You put that on your shoulders and you have to kind of, and you will create all the baggage like this to avoid again not to be in this zone.
So what's an example of a statement then? Is it about kind of attaching a positive statement or goal to that? Say, I want to feel able-bodied. I want to feel good.
I want to feel I can climb the stairs without being out of breath. I want to feel able to breathe as much as I want. I want to feel I can run just this street without any pain. And even saying without, it's still a bit negative. But if I want to lose weight, the term losing weight is already a baggage, because losing weight, it means physically you're losing the space. So if you need to lose weight, I would say more, I want to feel, I want to feel maybe a smoother curves. I want to feel that, I want to feel lighter, for example, light on my feet. I want to feel light on my knees or something like this, but something that's creating a positive, really a first positive feelings. Negative feelings will come around. They will come around. But it is really important that the first part of your goal, this biggest goal you want to create, needs to be more pulling you forwards, giving you this first emotions and feelings in your body that might be possible. Okay.
Well, I wonder, could we ask everybody, and maybe someone wants to share one of their statements in our chat, to think about what positive intention or goal they could set around their fitness, and share that with us. I don't know if anyone's willing to do so, to pop it in the chat, and we can come back to it. Because I think that's a really interesting approach, Vanessa, because that kind of negative, and even when you just said, and it really kind of, I had a physical reaction to it when you said losing weight means we take up less space.
Yes.
And if no one should want to, quieten their voice or take up less space.
Yes.
We're encouraging women to take up more space and to be seen and to be heard. So I think that's really interesting, because I have obviously that voice in my head where I think, I need to lose weight. But what does that mean? That we want to be less seen, we want to be smaller, and it shouldn't be a case of that.
That's why the language is so important. The words we use, it's so important when we decide to do something, or we decide not to do anything. It's really important to hear the words we say, because it drives our actions. There is an impact on the body in so much levels that's when you realize that, you say, okay, it's not being careful of everything you say, it's just, especially when you decide on something, the choice you make needs to be clear for your body. If you bring something negative about it, there will be this confusion. So if there's confusion, there will be fights at some point, because not everyone goes in the same direction.
Well, we've had two people share their intentions with us, or their goals. We had Maxine said she wants to give herself the best chance at IVF. So that's an amazing reason. And Joya said she'd like to lower her blood pressure, or improve the status of her blood pressure.
Okay.
So I think, and those are really great intentions or goals, aren't they? Because that's more about a much bigger picture surrounding our health, rather than, as you said at the beginning, us wanting to fit into a dress or wear something particular on holiday, which we all have those thoughts, I'm sure.
Yes, it's because this is the thing, is we've learned that Being fit is seasonal. Or be fit in the summer, be fit is it's for start in the spring, you will be fit for summer, and that's it. But it's normally it's a all year round thing. It should be like this, but we don't learn that. We just kind of have these spots of advertising reminding you, oh, you have to be fit for summer, when you should have that all around. But it is really important to just really remind you and coming back every time to you when you decide a goal about being fit, because even being fit means so different things for different people. And there is a difference between being fit and getting fit. Because once you create it, like, for example, preparing your body to create a life, so preparing for IVF, it's something I can feel it. I can feel it. I can even feel it in my pelvis, preparing for life, for creating a real life. It makes me grounded, for example, just by these words. But getting to this point, there is also some kind of cleaning to do. Because getting fit, depending on how you were with your body all your life and how you treated your body, is another challenge. So it's really important when you decide of your goal, decide and be clear on what being fit is and how do you feel about getting fit. Because if you just take a few minutes about getting fit, closing your eyes and just let come what needs to come into your mind: images, colors, sounds, smells, any person coming into your mind, positive or negative. It is really important to make things clear about that.
And you were talking about getting fit and being fit, and I think is part of that also determining what that means for you.
Yeah.
Because I think so many of us are governed by this idea, whether we see it in the media, on social media, around us, and I think often women are the ones that put this pressure on each other, to look a certain way, and that fit or healthy looks like a girl in Gymshark leggings or something, I don't know. And I think it can be a frightening journey to go on, where you really have to kind of look inside of you to figure out what fit means for you.
Yeah.
Because it's a bit like defining success.
Yes,
and yes, there are parameters that you can use, or there are kind of metrics you can use to measure your health, obviously, like medical ones. But actually, being fit and feeling well and feeling healthy is something that feels different for everybody.
Yeah, exactly. Because we don't have the same body. We have common sense. You have common metrics, but it's how you are in your life. How you manage your schedule, if you consider yourself as worthy of it, that's a big deal.
Wow, yeah.
Because behind all these excuses we find, the main things is all related to: are you worthy or not to take time for yourself, to move for yourself and for nothing else? And it's the biggest gap I found between what people want, women want, and how they feel about themselves.
So what advice, because that's really interesting, and my partner is very fit, and he works out every day, and he has a little plan that he has for the week, and he doesn't negotiate on it at all. He finds time in his day to carve out 40 minutes. And I look at that often and I feel envious of it, because I feel like I struggle to do that. Yeah. So how can we get better at prioritizing ourselves and that time, whether it means getting up a bit earlier to do it, or going, dragging ourselves to do something after the kids have gone to bed, or when things have kind of quietened down at home? How do we motivate ourselves to do that?
Well, I think it's because we consider exercising as something that you need to have the right gear, the right outfit, the right space, the right time, the right equipment, the right, all this list. And being fit, normally it's about how much you move and how you move during your day, in big guidelines, I would say. So your partner might need, for example, to be in some specific space to do his training. But my biggest understanding of exercising, it's moving with intention. It can take 5 minutes, it can take an hour. It's up to you, but especially when we struggle to take time for ourselves. First, it's because we don't feel worthy of it, and secondly, we don't see the point of it. So we don't see the point because we are so giving to others. We are just giving everything to others, and we don't see that by moving properly just for us, we will be able to do more. I'll give you an example. For the past 2 weeks, I've been doing a new training, and I've been focusing on just one muscle a day. And it's just one muscle, the same always. And the other day I went to a Halloween party with my son, and I had to have my baby with me, obviously, and I couldn't have the buggy with me. And I had to have her in my arms for an hour and a half until she said stop. She couldn't bear the music, but I didn't feel any pain because I worked on this muscle. And I think this is always linked to, we can't just say, oh, I need to take time for myself. As women, I think we work better when we link to what we give to others. This is how we work, I think. More we can say, okay, if I just stand up from my chair few minutes every 2 hours, using my muscles of my legs and my core instead of my back, I will be stronger on my legs. So I will be able to keep my energy up, and I will be able to, at the end of the day, play with my kids. I think we need to link every time a bit to ourselves, come back to ourselves, and link to what we can give to others. It's much easier to keep up with moving and exercises when we plan like this, because big plans on saying, oh, I will go to this class twice a week might be unrealistic. That's the point. It's maybe more planning once a month to have a great to tell everyone, I'm going to this class, don't bother me, and I have a great joy to do it, and then continuously creating this space to move for us, even to dance in the kitchen with intention and with the whole package, not just one bit, but the whole package. You create this energy and you keep up on being fit and getting fit. It's how you see, how you want to provide on what you want to do with being fit. We feel most of the time guilty that being fit is just for us, and it's linked too much to the image of what we should do. If you look at social media, I mean, I've done check on the hashtag body positivity, or even body positivity movement, and what I see is always about look. There is now the different forms and different shapes. That's really good. Different kind of clothes type, but still linked to look. It's not linked to what you are able to do with the fitness. And what you want to do usually, it's achieve your goals, any ambitions you have, family, career, or both. That's what we really want.
Yeah, and I think, even applying that methodology that you were just talking about sort of thinking about moving with intent each day and making that your goal. It also applies to obviously how it makes you feel from a professional perspective, because I think for me, definitely one of my positives is I know that if I move and I start my day that way, I'm far more productive. I have a much clearer head. I deal with people better. I have a different perspective, I think. And I suppose part of that, and certainly this is for me, and I don't know if this would apply for anyone else, but it's been trying to remember every time I don't want to move, or I think that I'm too busy, or I make an excuse not to remember that if I don't, I'm going to miss out on feeling that way. On feeling good, feeling more productive, feeling like I'm on top of my game, whereas you just miss out that one bit of movement in the morning and it can change your mindset completely.
That's something quite it becomes a revelation when you just take, and you don't need to do like a big workout first thing in the morning if you're not feeling for it. It's just even stretching in the morning. It's just waking up your body, clear your minds, and you get into your work or what needs to be done and during the day so much faster. That's just waking up with a coffee or a shower. So it's an approach completely differently. That's really good.
So I know one of your other keys to success around getting fit and sticking to it is don't rely on motivation. What does that mean?
Well, for me, motivation, it's inconsistent and unreliable, because it's like when I'm ready, I will do that. It's like being ready. You're never being ready. It's waiting for the perfect moment. Motivations just come like sometimes just a drop. Just, okay, I decide to give you some motivation today. It's outside of ourselves. We don't decide to really be motivated. It's just motivation pass and just take you with. Okay? So it's something you are not in charge with. And that's why for me I think it's unreliable. Don't count on that. Count on what your triggers are. That's another thing, because we have all triggers. I would say negative and positive. Usually when we don't like exercising, or it's kind of a pain to exercise, it's because we have too many negative triggers around that. So more we know that, for example, I don't know, like going to the gym or passing by a gym is kind of giving you shivers or giving you a feel of throwing up or something, there is something to work on that. And unfortunately, these kind of triggers, when they're ignored, they just expand naturally. They're just a bit like cancer. They just get outnumbering the positive ones, because we learn that exercising is in a gym with machines, with something. Okay, so it's important just to understand our triggers. First, the negative one, because usually they are stronger. It can be what you've lived in school. I mean, at school, I hated sports. I always had female sports coach. They were all hating girls. So it doesn't give you this kind of feeling good about yourself when you're a girl in these circumstances. The only time I really liked sports school, it was, I think, at when I was 17 something. So it was because it was something completely different to what I had before. But it is really important to understand what is your negative triggers and what are your positive triggers. And usually positive triggers, there are maybe not that many to start with, but you can create more of them. And you create more of them when you see them and you connect with them regularly. So, for example, most of us, when we do exercising, we focus on how we feel afterwards. You will feel proud. You will feel good. You feel you had sweat, blood, and tears and stuff like this. What I prefer and what I encourage my clients to is connect with the exercise right now. be present, be mindful what you were doing with, because you get your results quicker and you get your motivation up too. Okay, it's something that it's sorry, it's bothering me. It's something that more you connect, more you connect to what the feeling of the exercise is, even if you don't like the exercise, because you don't need to like exercising at all. You just need to understand this statement: your body needs to move to live. Okay, and if you keep not enjoying what you do into your training, you keep the fight again. It's just fighting. You're not getting more positive triggers. You're creating more negative triggers, and at some point you will give up. If you keep seeing the exercising or training activities as a fight to get what you want, you create more fight. And it means that some points you will lose. It's not fun, but that's why I prefer every time I train or every time I decide I have 5 minutes to move just for me, I want to enjoy it as much as possible. I want to feel this connection now in my body. And that's what I want for my clients. Just to really realizing you have a body, he's not against you, he wants to help you, and he just wants to be alive and not surviving. Because when you are in motivation mode, you have to wait for it. You have to have the right things to do it and the right time. And we know in reality it's not possible. It is not. So more, again, you connect to the big goal of yours and when you want it. Then you create checkpoints in between. Because if it's a 6-month goal, you need checkpoints in between. So like this, you can create more positive triggers, and that the positive triggers can be images, can be reminders on your phone, can be it can be the feelings you want to have more. If you want have more joy in your body, like for creating a life, if you want to have this ability to create a space for it, you need to go for this kind of training. And it's how you know yourself. More you know yourself before starting anything, before just do it, more quicker you get where you want to go. It's you avoid all this kind of I'm waiting for the right trainer, I'm waiting for the right expert, I'm waiting for the right activity to come out. Yeah, there is always a lot of activities going out and different kind of modulation of activities. So it's important to just really know your triggers and how you can link your triggers to your goal. And create
your positive and your negative triggers.
Yes, and create more of your positive triggers. And when you see that a positive triggers you've created doesn't work anymore, change it. For example, it happens a lot with me. I'm someone you can say lazy and inconsistent. I'm honest with that, especially about training. Well, my husband called me like this the first time. I'm the laziest personal trainer he knew because I'm efficient. That's why. Because I don't like wasting time in travel. I don't like wasting time waiting for the machine. I don't like wasting time in things like this. I'm quite impatient, so I just want to go for it. And it makes me efficient because I'm always adapting to things I want to do, and I'm always saying, okay, this trigger doesn't work for me anymore. This reason why I'm doing that doesn't work. I need to change it. So I just find another one. And it's like this, you can really stick to your fitness and stick to your training is, okay, if this exercise doesn't work anymore, I need to update it. I need maybe to put more weights on it, or I need just to make it a bit bigger, or I need to do it a class or learn with someone else who knows better. But it's always you at the center and the outside after when you do your training. Okay, but you need to know the triggers that makes you holding back, and that's the ones who pull you forwards or push you forwards. Like this, you can drive better.
So in summary on that point then, that bit about we can't rely on external motivation. It's no matter how much you have a personal trainer or the leader of a class shouting at you to do something, ultimately, if you're going to create a long-term habit and build a relationship with your body around movement, it has to come from us.
Yes. It can't come from I've been a group exercise instructor for so long. What I say is only heard, 10% of what I say. It's only 10%. And I can see when I was teaching a class, I can see who were listening and who were not. Who were already, the mind was already gone into problems when you see the face depending. But it's a lot like this.
Yeah.
You can't rely on someone else you can ask for help, fortunately, but relying on something else outside of you won't make you create deep habits and a deep connection with yourself.
And how much, Vanessa, is this about choosing movement that gives you joy? Because I think many of us, especially as you get older, we learn more about ourselves. We get to know ourselves better. Yeah. And I know definitely there are some kinds of exercise that give me no joy. Like where you were saying, you need to connect with the movement in the moment and enjoy it at the time, as opposed to just thinking about, there are some forms of exercise that I will hate it the entire way through, and I'll only stick with it because I know I'll feel better at the end.
Okay.
I mean,
what do you advise? Exercise? Like which exercise?
Well, so kayaking, honestly, no joy. I hate kayaking. Anything like that, so there's certain things like that. And then I think, I remember when I used to go to personal training, I used to hate every second of it. And then it was only really at the end that I would be like, oh, phew, it would be an accomplishment that I did it. But I would always view that hour as an hour of pain and discomfort and something that didn't give me any joy. But I did it because I knew that ultimately I'd feel better and it would make a difference. But I mean, how do you navigate that with your clients? Like if they say to you, there's something I absolutely hate, do you suggest that people keep trying new things until they find movement that gives them joy? Or is that about also changing our mindset?
It's a shifting how you see the exercise and why you see the exercise like this, because for example, one of my favorite exercise is there is plank and there is burpees. I love to do both of them. I don't like staying a long time on planks. It's not relevant for me. I don't see why, but I enjoy the feeling. But at the beginning, when I started doing planks or burpees, I found, this is awful. It's like breaking everything and you are not breathing properly into it. And I have a lot of clients who don't like these ones. And what I would say is probably at the beginning, you start with how you want to feel after. And when more you do it, you need to see how much you achieve about it. Because this is the tricky thing is there is some exercise we have to do because our body needs. Okay. Like a plank will be, it's a full strength body workout. A burpee is the same. There is the power of it and the stamina of it. Okay. It's big challenges. I mean, it's like checkpoints, I would say, in your whole program. But you need to realize that when you do this kind of exercise, you need to see how much you achieve about that. And we don't see that when we are into it. As a trainer, I'm used to observe. So I would say I can do that for myself and I would do that for others. But every time I have a client who are just rolling their eyes when I say burpees, it's like, yeah, but you will see how much you have achieved about it. It's like Tabata training. When you do 20 seconds of an exercise 8 times, 8 series of it, you don't like it. It might be difficult, but it will give you this checkpoints of how much you achieve in between.
Well,
Okay?
and I suppose each time you do those exercises, and certainly I know planks and burpees are the same, that the more you do them, the stronger you get. And the more the longer you can hold your plank, or the stronger you feel when you're doing it. So you were talking about that feeling where everything's breaking. You feel less and less like that. But it's just about, I suppose, us being sure that we are checking ourselves from a mindset perspective and a trigger perspective to keep focused on the progress.
It depends on how you learn them the first time, or how you want to relearn them. Most of the time, what I saw is that we learn them by repetition. More you repeat, more you get stronger. It's not completely true, I would say. You need to understand what a plank is for and what a burpee is for, if you keep on this example, and how to make them efficient. Okay, for example, for plank, I see that a lot of time is what I hear is you squeeze your bum, you curve a bit, you're bringing it like this, and you don't breathe for how long you can hold it. Well, how can you enjoy that? So it's not possible. To enjoy your plank, you need to feel the supports from the floor, so from your elbows and forearms, or from your hands and from your feet. You need to feel that your body weight is covered on the whole body, not just on the shoulders part, on the arms part. You need to feel that your core is acting to push you off the floor. Normally your bum should be kind of relaxed. You shouldn't feel your back. You should have I would say a line between the heels and the head, just a line, not a curve like this. And you should be able to breathe. A chest breathing, but breathe still. And like this, you can enjoy it. You can connect with it. Because normally from a plank, then you do something else. You just don't, it's boring to do just a plank. A plank will warm up, can be a warm up, for example, and then you will do, I don't know, push up or bear walk or flying plank or whatever things, or push up, clap, or things like this. So something more challenging. Mm-hmm. But the burpee is the same. If you start directly with the burpee with all full jumps, you break more things and you break your mindset about it. You will just see, I can't do that. But if you start with the level 1, that is no jump, you learn how to put your hands, where to put your feet, how to engage your core, how to breathe, and that's just up and down. You start with something and then you build onto that. But how we learn at the moment is we give you the biggest, strongest things and survive about it. And I think we need to kind of reverse the machine and say more, okay, let's learn the basics. Let's learn really the simple things, and you might not enjoy it the first time, but you build the joy about succeeding about it, or see what you need to add to improve it. But it's really, that's why also it can be so frightful and fearful to do any kind of this exercise, because it's the male way to learn. If I have to make a difference, is how males learn sports is you have to be tough. So put that on yourself, survive that, and you're a man. And the thing is, we keep on that, even if we don't need to survive really anything physically. We have everything we need. So that's why it's so, it's an excuse not to do it. It becomes an excuse not to do it. So just if anything you have to do or you need to do for a body requirement, something like this, learn the basics first, instead of crushing yourself on CrossFit or HIIT training. First thing is to learn the basics, and then you can enjoy and create more about it. That's just the basics. You want to enjoy yourself. That's the first goal, I would say.
Well, and I think if you start with the basics, you put less pressure on yourself, or there's less fear of failure.
Yeah.
Because I think, I've always struggled with anything like that where there are multiple compound movements, because I don't have great coordination. So for me, I always struggle with anything, and my brain just goes, if there are too many moves altogether, I'm like, oh, I can't do that. But if I focus on breaking it down or doing as much as I can of the movement, but with the basic elements, it's far more achievable.
Yeah.
But I think you do have to kind of go, it's okay if I can't do it like that. I'm going to do what I can manage and what makes me feel good. Yeah.
And it's not easy at the beginning, especially if you start with classes. Because when you start a class, I think a client said to me, it's like being at school. You copy others, and you like your teacher, and you don't like too much change. And there is no intention for ourselves. It's a group thing. It becomes a group thing. So you want to copy. You don't want to be the one who doesn't know. And it's a tricky thing when you are in this situation. If you feel grounded about yourself, and you are comfortable to say, well, I don't know this technique, show me how to do it, it's much better. It's much easier even for the instructor, because the instructor will know, okay, this person's needs specific other maybe cues than others, instead of just copying. You can't just learn everything by copying. I don't think it's true.
Well, because our bodies are all different.
Yeah. And our story about it is different. And the injuries and any kind of elements that come with it, we don't learn the same way. So we can't expect to provide the same movement.
No. Well, that's really good advice. We're coming to the end of our session, so I wondered if anyone has any questions, if they would like to ask Vanessa anything specific to their kind of fitness journey. Obviously, I will send a follow-up email. I'll copy you and Vanessa, so if anyone wants to get in touch with you directly, then they can do that, and they can ask you questions. But I know you have a specific program around this starting tomorrow.
Yes. Exactly. It's really to create your foundation for your program. So we get deeper on the triggers, on the goal, on everything to do before starting exercising. And we start exercising because obviously you need to have a little push to start.
So how does what's the best way for people to find out more about that? Is it on your website?
It's on.
Is there a link I should share in the follow-up, or do you want to pop it in the chat?
If I can do that, that would be good. The direct link to it.
Great. And then I'll follow up with that as well in the follow-up email. So if anyone wants to ask you more questions or sign up for that. And how long is the program? How long does it run?
So it's a 4 weeks program.
Okay, brilliant.
Yep. And I will put that now. And there is a support group called every week. So it's and you have my feedback on because there is homework, obviously. So there is my feedback on what you have to do, and if you have any more question about it, I'm all support for that.
Brilliant. Well,
so
thank you.
The direct link to it.
Just popped it in there. Oh, that's great. Thank you very much, Vanessa. And I'll copy.
And remember also that there is exceptionally 50% off on it.
Oh, brilliant. Okay.
So
for women's chapter members and community members.
Yep.
So Pippa's saying here, I find setting an alarm to start and to finish not making time too long. Reduce barriers. We have a rowing machine in the sitting room behind the sofa, so I can pop it on for 10 minutes.
Yes.
Yeah, that's a, and that's a really good kind of, I think so many of us, as you were saying earlier, Vanessa, about feeling like we need to have the perfect moment.
Yeah.
There's no such thing.
Not for anything.
No, and somehow just starting or carving out, like Pippa does, that 10 minutes to jump on the rowing machine while the telly's on behind the sofa, so she's not being excluded from what's going on in the house or missing out on anything. And I think actually, if anything, I suppose things like Peloton and all of this home workout equipment has helped us around that we've actually realized we can integrate some of those things into or catching up on our favorite show or a box set or something like that. I mean, I don't know what you think of that, Vanessa, if that's
it's a 50-50 for me.
Okay.
Because I've seen, I had a client who started with me and then she bought also a Peloton. And,
oh, yeah.
And it's, I think any kind of this type of equipment that comes to our home needs to be seen as a plus and not as the main driver. Mm. That's the main thing for me. I think it's important to see that as, okay, that's an occasion to challenge myself on something, but it shouldn't put me away for me, if you see what I mean. Because, for example, doing some, I don't know, rowing or biking in front of a camera or front of a show or something can be how can I explain that? Can be something pulling you out of yourself.
Oh, okay. Oh, you mean not kind of being
not enough
in the moment
focusing.
in terms of your movement? Okay.
Yeah, not enough focusing. So it can be if you have any other kind of movement that's connect with yourself or being really mindful about it during the day, that's fine. It's just if you have any equipment like this that drives you to do exercise, you need to remember that you should be the driver.
Mm. Well, to be fair, Pippa didn't say she watches telly while she does it. That's what I would do if I had a rowing machine.
I would do the same, to be honest. If I had a machine, I would do it in front of the TV. I do that at the gym. When I go to the gym and I have to do the cross trainer or things like this, there is four or five things. Well, 3 of them are usually new, so it's not really fun. But there is still TVs on it, so just go for it. But if you have the occasion to have also exercises, okay, it's behind the sofa. She can't see the TV.
that was just my spin on it, Pippa. Sorry.
But yeah, to have both, it's really interesting.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much, Vanessa. It's been really wonderful to talk to you again. I've said this before. I absolutely love your approach to fitness and wellness and movement. And I'm really grateful that we get to have you as part of our community and to share those insights with everyone. So thank you for making time to be with us today. Thank you for joining us, everyone, and for making that commitment and for staying all the way through. I hope that you found some value. I'll be sending a follow-up email to this with the recording as well as the link to the program if you want to know more. And as Vanessa said, you get a 50% discount if you are part of our community or on this call today. So I'll put the code in there as well.
Thank you very much.
Have a wonderful day, everyone.
Yay.
Sending you very best wishes. Thank you so much for your time, Vanessa.
Hey, keep moving.
Yeah. Bye.
Bye.